Welcome to today's episode of the Daily Coffee Pro Friends. Today on the podcast, we're talking about the phrase death before decaf. And we have spoken about this before, but it's time for us to revisit it because I feel that the landscape of the coffee industry is changing and the landscape of a coffee professional, what defines a coffee professional, is changing as well. I've been seeing people pop up with this hashtag on Instagram, death before decaf. And I thought it would be important for us to explore what that really means in a time where the industry is undergoing tectonic shifting. So what do people mean when they say death before decaf? What they're saying, it's a kind of virtue signaling. They're virtue signaling other hardcore coffee drinkers, coffee professionals. They're trying to say to people that they are the real kind of coffee professional and that no legitimate coffee professional would advocate for decaf. And I want to say that in 2020, if what we're advocating for is that people drink coffee on the basis of the caffeine content in their beverage, we're missing the mark. In an environment where the supply chain is under huge threat, our cafes are under huge threat, jobs are under huge threat, the idea of saying something like death before decaf is you virtue signaling that the way you've decided somebody should drink coffee excludes what they want to experience coffee as. So what I want to invite people to do is to consider that allowing people or giving people the space to have the best possible coffee experience that they can have based on whatever they want to drink, whether it be caffeine, decaf, whether it be a natural washed coffee, some sort of fermentation, whether it be with milk, with vanilla syrup, whatever they want. You dictating that somebody should experience coffee in a specific kind of way is demonstrating a kind of elitism that creates more distance between bringing people into a deeper, more authentic coffee experience. And it creates this idea that you know better about what they should be drinking than the consumer, knows. And this particular problem is what causes people to feel intimidated by approaching coffee brands. And in 2020, we want to find ways to make coffee, as all kinds of coffee, specialty coffee, commodity coffee, all kinds of coffee, as approachable as possible. And by saying things like death to decaf, what we're doing is telling people that we know better than you do about coffee. That kind of elitism, there's no space for it. Well, there shouldn't be any space for it. And by going on and telling people that this is the way that things should be and this is the way they should be experiencing caffeine and coffee is distance. It's something that shouldn't be what we're talking about anymore. What we should be doing is finding ways to make coffee as approachable and as welcoming as we can. The final thing that I want to say about this is when you start saying things like death to decaf, what you're saying to people who cannot consume caffeine is that they are not as valid or as welcome to the coffee experience as everybody else. And they may not be drinking caffeine because of health reasons, because who knows, anxiety, a whole bunch of reasons. We have no right to be excluding them from having the best coffee experience that we can provide them with. And so as a coffee professional, I want to invite you to consider the kind of messaging that you're putting out there, and know that when you say things like death before decaf, you're virtue signaling a group of people in the industry that aren't necessarily going to be part of what drives or pushes the industry forward into the future. I hope this has been one of those episodes that gives you something to think about. And, we're all here to find a way to make coffee more welcoming for everybody. And I think that 2020 is offering us one of those opportunities to help bring coffee into people's homes. More people are purchasing retail coffee. And so when we have this opportunity, helping people have the kind of coffee experience that best works for them and that is as approachable as possible to them, only makes for a better coffee experience all round. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.